This week might have been the worst week for the Democrats so far, and that's saying something. It's not enough that they humiliated themselves at Trump's speech to Congress. Now they've decided to take to social media to continue the self-flagellation to remedy their self-diagnosed messaging problem. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 200,000 subscribers. But let's start with what the Democrats consider to be their resonating and inspiring message to the American people.
Choose your character.
So that was their attempt to connect with the younger voter, I guess, by pretending to be video game characters and having different stats and strengths. Let's take a look at all these in case you missed them. We've got Solhee Jessica Wu, her strengths being a bento box queen, mommy of the century, and her negative stat being sleep deprived. So we have AOC, New York's 14th congressional district, youngest woman Latina to be elected to the House. And her negative stat is Trekkie, which I don't know what that means. There's Rep. Catherine Clark, House Minority Whip, Massachusetts 5th congressional district, not into hair dye. And of course we have Ghetto Jasmine Crockett, Texas's 30th congressional district, public defender plus attorney. Those are the same thing. And her downsides are not a morning person. Well, they should have added not a people's person, not a nice person, not a respectable person, but I guess not a morning person works. So instead of realizing that it's their disastrous policies, political personalities, abysmal track record, and an overall anti-American spirit that most Americans aren't feeling, they think it's these kind of antics that are what's missing, that's stopping the Democrat Party from elevating to this gold standard. But in hilarious fashion, the White House dropped their response video, and it is absolutely epic. Watch.
Choose your character.
Okay, not only was that White House video epic, but the production quality was just through the roof. It's pretty evident that the Democrat Party is feeling the spigot of funds being turned off by their donors, because everything that they're doing, from their popsicle sticks to these embarrassing, cringy TikTok things, looks incredibly low budget and sloppily put together. So social media has been having a field day with that video, obviously, but another thing they've been having a field day with is Al Green, who got censured by Congress. The Democrat Party starts to break out in kumbaya songs right in the middle of the House chambers. Watch.
That Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House had come to order. The House had come to order. What's that?
You want to let them keep doing this?
I mean, their methods are so pathetic. It's the same kind of leftist performative theater kid nonsense that you see when people who are trying to protest climate change start throwing paint at ancient paintings or gluing their hand to the pavement. They think that this performance is going to win the hearts over of Americans, when in reality, all it looks like is they're at a job interview with the American people as their employer, and when the American people ask them a question, how are you going to improve our lives? The Democrat response is bursting out into sing-song. Listen to Scott Jennings on CNN talk about this embarrassment.
I feel like over the last few weeks, there's been numerous instances of Democrats breaking out into song, and all I've been able to discern is that when Democrats are singing, Republicans are winning. I mean, it was a bipartisan resolution that passed today. Some people in your party voted to censure Representative Green. You said something earlier that really piqued my interest, which was you said the Democrats should not be listening to John Fetterman. I think he's maybe your most authentic voice. Who's a better representative, Green or Fetterman for the Democratic Party?
And but on that point, Fetterman is a senator from a very critical state. I mean, why not listen to John Fetterman? Because I think John Fetterman is doing what is popular at the time. I'm not necessarily sure that John Fetterman is being driven by what is best for his districts or his district or his constituents. But for the next 2 years, we need to be telling the story of the people.
Yes, if Fetterman wants to run, let him run. That's
can
because
run.
we're the Big Ten party.
Right now, we shouldn't be.
You said we shouldn't be listening to him.
Well, I personally do not think that we should be listening to him.
I've been seeing Democrat supporters on social media who are furious with their politicians because they're not doing enough to oppose Trump. They want them to be breaking the law and playing dirty because in their mind, Trump is overthrowing the Constitution, a threat to democracy, engaging in a fascist coup of the United States government. And their theory is if Trump is actually disobeying the Constitution and taking over the country, the Democrats cannot be playing by the rules to oppose him. But they've never stopped for 1 second to think, why is it that the Democrats aren't doing more to oppose him? Is it because they're spineless and they aren't willing to take it there? Perhaps, maybe. But the more reasonable conclusion is they don't actually believe that Donald Trump is any of these things. They don't actually believe that he's going to cut Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security. They know there's plenty of fraud in these programs and cuts can be made to make it sustainable. They know all of these problems can be fixed. They know Trump is taking the legal methods to accomplish it. They know that Elon Musk is duly appointed by the president. The reason they're all not putting it on the line to stop this fascist dictator takeover is because they know it's not happening. And you tell me, in a moment of calamity and crisis, is this type of video on social media what you would expect the opposition party to be posting?
Oh no. It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
They get on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like fuck. Mustard on a beat, bro, deep boat, any rap. He a freak though, man down, call like Amber Lambs. Tell him breathe, let them boys to the cross, they walk around like G's. What's up with these?
So yeah, the only two scenarios if you're a Democrat are our politicians do realize the existential threat and this is the best they can muster up. Or two, they don't actually believe there's an existential threat and they just have no policies and instead have to resort to the same old name calling and fear mongering that they did during the campaign. Jasmine Crockett wants to portray herself as one of the vocal members of the resistance, but her resistance to the authoritarian takeover is just TikTok dance videos in her office. And on top of that, you've got Hakeem Jeffries, Walmart Obama, looking like he's shooting a music video outside of the Capitol building, lying through his teeth, saying that the majority of the American people are with the Democrats.
Just got back to the Capitol, another day, another lie from these people who are out of control. I'm told that Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and the extreme MAGA Republicans are claiming that Democrats are sending paid protesters into their town hall meetings. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? We don't need to send paid protesters into your town hall meetings. The American people are with us. All across the country, people are rising up to push back against the assault on the economy, the assault on hard-working families, the assault on our democracy, and the assault on Medicaid. We don't need paid protesters, bro. The American people are with us.
This was in response to the accusations that Democrats were paying paid protesters to show up and heckle at these Republican town halls. Now, I don't know if they were paid protesters or not. I think it's very likely that a couple hundred angry Democrats in a Republican district can show up early and take all the seats at a town hall. But nonetheless, it's performative. It certainly isn't indicative of how the people in that Republican district certainly feel, which is what the Democrats were trying to make it seem like, prompting Hakeem Jeffries to post this video, reassuring people it wasn't paid protesters, just the energy of America is with what the Democrats are doing. I mean, every poll that's coming out shows the Democrats to be more unpopular than ever. And you would think somebody like Hakeem would read the room and realize this kind of pretending like the Democrats have widespread majority support isn't substantiated by anything, and the American people would know this. But he thinks we're all uneducated or Trump deranged like his base, so he speaks to us as if our worldview is clouded by Trump derangement, and we live in a world where Republicans are in full retreat and Trump is losing at every turn. And this last clip is proof of that, as 22 Democrat senators coordinate this cringy Trump is a liar social media video, thinking because they all said the same copy and paste message at once, we're gonna just believe it.
Prices down starting on day one.
Things like this do not help the Democrats' lack of authenticity problem. It shows there's no innovation or creative thinking in the Democrat Party, and they're all leaning on some stale PR firm to tell them how to operate their social media. They show that they're severely out of touch by incessantly hammering on this idea of eggs not going down. The Democrats act like we didn't all live through the last 40 days of the Trump administration when things were happening at a daily rate. They think that we don't understand Donald Trump at this point, that sometimes he exaggerates. He's a normal person. When he says, I'm gonna bring costs down day one, nobody who voted for Trump expected to wake up January 21st, go to the grocery store, and see prices down by 25%. We all knew what he meant by that, but they're acting like it's 2017 and people are still caught off guard by the way Trump speaks. They say, oh, it's been 6 weeks and egg prices aren't down. They act like within the last 6 weeks, Trump was just sitting around doing nothing. They conveniently leave out that he fixed the border, he fixed the DEI problem, he fixed the woke problem, the men and women sports problem, aggressively attacking the government waste problem, 1.7 trillion in new investments, got his entire cabinet confirmed, but they'll say, oh, prices didn't go down day one. Well, he also signed 50 executive orders day one, and a lot of things did happen day one. He took care of the problems that he could take care of instantly first. Every reasonable person, and even the unreasonable Democrats, understand that prices will take a little bit to come down. And he has a clear plan to do that. To make prices come down, production has to come up. And how do you make production come up? By forcing companies to expand their operations in America or invest into new operations in America. And how do you do that? Tariffs, which has already brought in 6 weeks, $1.7 trillion in investment. What does that bring with it? Good paying jobs. What does making energy less costly do? What does making regulations less burdensome do? It makes the cost of production cheaper. So when you combine cheaper production with also more production, with also higher paying jobs, you get a scenario where costs go down and incomes go up, and people feel that prosperous gap that grows. Any old half brain dead president can print $5 trillion in a year and cause inflation to skyrocket. Now, dealing with that issue takes a little bit of time. But because Democrats think of everybody who voted for Trump as an unintelligent, low IQ sycophant, they talk to us that way. And they expect for us to be rioting in the street because we heard him say prices would come down day one, and they haven't yet. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.